Welcome to AllReasonNoLogic's Beyond All Reason for you. Here is another tutorial video aimed to help those new players and those looking to refine their game. Today we're looking at the basics of blueprints. In short, a blueprint is a set build queue that your constructors can utilize so that you can build your buildings without worrying about placing each building individually. Let's get into it. So why do we use build prints instead of just placing buildings where we want them in each unique map? Well, the answer is so that we can reduce our macro attention so that we can focus on unit micro in the game. It is ever important to be up on that front line, making sure your units are maximizing their efficiency of their combat trades. Blueprints can be created at any point in playing the game, but I recommend jumping into a skirmish against an active AI and spending some time to set up the most efficient build prints that work for your playstyle possible. So how do you do that? In the main menu, go and set up a skirmish game, remove all the AI players, and then go to add a new AI and select the inactive AI on the opposite team. And then hit start on your map of your choice. So personally, I like to focus on T1 economy when it comes to blueprints. I find defensive blueprints to be not so catered to individual maps, and T2 economy goes boom very easily. So I like to place those fusions and advanced fusions individually. When you have loaded into an inactive game, grab a constructor and ask yourself, what do you want to blueprint? The obvious one to start with is a wind and energy converter farm. Select that constructor, pick your wind turbine, and drag out a box of wind. I like to build them in grids of 2 by 8. You don't want to be building a box of wind turbines because they can chain react if they're more than 2 wide in a row. Alternatively, you can use the Shift, Alt, and ZX keys to expand and retract the spacings. For those who don't know how to do these boxes, just simply hold the Shift and Alt. So build a group of 8 wind, and then I like to put 1 converter for every 8 wind. Obviously this is going to depend on the map you're in, but 8's a safe number for covering those lower wind maps, and you can add in extra converters for those high wind maps. I like to also leave a bit of a space between the converter and the wind so that we don't get an explosion and reaction. Now once this is completed, you want to go and select your wind and your converter in the order that you want it to be built. So you can select them individually or simply drag all the winds. I want them to be built at once. Oh, actually I want to build them from one end. Start again. There we go, just need that little zoom in. And then finally the converter. And you want to go save blueprint. Now if you hit that constructor and select place blueprint or Alt B, the blueprint's going to come up. Let's just say that we don't like that blueprint and we want it to be a little bit different. You can hit Alt D to remove the blueprint and you'll have no blueprints left. So let's just say that we wanted to build the energy converter a little bit closer and we didn't like it there. So we're going to once again select these individually. Stuffed up, oh well. Then hit save blueprint, select that constructor, and now we can place as many of those around the place as we want. That's simple as that. Let's just say we want to build something else. Let's say the advanced solar. We want to do a 1-to-1 ratio of advanced solar to converters because they produce 75 energy and 70 energy converts into 1 metal per second. So we want to do a farm of them. Speed up the game a little bit. Then we select in the order once again that we want to build these. So solar converter, save blueprint, select the constructor. There it is. Now, because we've got 2 blueprints, you can see blueprint number 2 is up. If we want to go to blueprint number 1, we can simply hold Alt and scroll. And then we've got a combination of different blueprints we can place. Now what's the next thing to think about? we want to think about what sort of other blueprints there are, and so some suggestions for you. So we've talked about the wind farm, we've talked about the solar. So let's map these all out. We want to select that constructor again, place blueprint, let's clear these, start again. So our first blueprint we want to do is these wind, converter, and we're going to go save blueprint. Next we've got the solar, converters, save blueprint. I suggest doing a bigger solar farm as well. So you want to be building one-to-one solar, advanced solar, converter, advanced solar converter, and so on. Save blueprint. Next thing we want to look at is setting up a mass wind and converter farm. Now, I've looked at a few template options for you guys, and what I suggest is building a construction turret and then a bunch of wind that's within the range of that construction turret as well as converter. And I like to only build this on one side of that construction turret so that you can still leave your base over the other side, any defensive structures, and just keep the base free. And that way you can spin the blueprint, and I'll show you how to do that later, around your base however you like. So in this set out here, we've got the wind spaced at the minimum distance, and you can see you can fit 63 winds and 13 solars, for example, in this half of the construction turret. What I've done is work out some other options that I think are a little bit more efficient. So I've worked out if you do your winds in rows of 2, you will fit more wind and converters in the half construction turret radius. Looking at these 3 designs here, so you've got this first one that fits the most wind. You can see 79 wind and then your 13 energy converters. But you want to really be building these, so you're building 6 to 8 of the winds and then a construction turret, 6 to 8, and then then a energy converter. And there's going to be a lot of walking back and forth for your constructor, going there, going back, going there, going back, and then to all the other areas around that blueprint. So these other 2 options are a little bit more friendly. I like the bottom one my best, so feel free to have a look at these and copy them. You can see the rows there. You can count them in your own time. This one here is my favorite. So you can build this constructor, and then I'd be selecting, say, these 8 wind, 2 converters, this row, and then a few converters, that row, a few converters. Then you can come up to this other side, select that row, some converters, that row, converters, and let's save another blueprint. Now we've got a number of blueprints. Where's our constructor gone? Down here. And we can place a range of blueprints. So we've got 4 blueprints. We've got our wind, advanced, bigger advanced, and a bigger wind farm. Now, I was talking about rotating earlier. So if you've got a base and you want to move the blueprint around the base, simply hit the bracket, the square bracket keys, and you can rotate these to be set up however you want. So just say you want to build this here and it's all within this radius of this other construction turret as well. You can just drop a blueprint, easy as that. Now what else can we do? Defenses. There's some basic defenses here. A couple of LLTs, a warden, anti-air, and then the radar and jamming device in a blueprint. It's a suggestion. One I do like and that I do use is a Dragon's Maw or Dragon's Claw with the Dragon's Teeth around those so that they are protected by, say, Rocketeer or Aggravator Fire. Maybe you want to set up some T2 economy blueprints. For those more experienced in the game, you'd know that a good ratio of fusion reactors to advanced energy converters is 1 to 2. And for advanced fusion reactors and advanced energy converters, a ratio of 1 to 4 is recommended. So there's some basic blueprints that you can set up, selecting those in order that you want them to be built. Save that blueprint. And that blueprint. Now we've got blueprints that are unique to the T2 units. Unfortunately, they haven't modified the game yet so that we can only see the blueprints relevant to whatever constructor you're building, but we can place them now all within the radius of that build turret farm. That is the basics of placing blueprints. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or send through a message. Hope to see you next time.